All right, guys, so here's what I'm focusing on today. Thesis statements for essay number 3, character analysis and drama. This is a very straightforward thesis statement, not terribly complex, as long as you make sure you're focusing on the right thing. So that is the key. That is what I really need you to be paying attention to for this. The sample essays that are up on Canvas, they're doing this work as well. So make sure that you understand this idea and you're going to do everything right. Because if you are focusing on the right thing in the thesis, then that dictates all of those things that you're focusing on in your body paragraphs, and the whole essay lines up. The danger is you make it all about the one character. That's what we're going to try to avoid, and I'm going to walk you through how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick screen share here of the PowerPoint, and hopefully this will all make sense. Making sure you focus on the big picture. So you're going to have 3 things in there. Number 1, you are going to make some reference to your characters and plays. It will not be very detailed. I do not want you to list full playwright names, full play names or titles, and full character names. We're not doing that in the thesis. You're going to take care of that work earlier in the introduction. You are going to have, as always, active verbs. You know that I like those. And then this is the most crucial part. What are we supposed to discover or learn? Okay. That is the heart of the thesis, not the characters. Okay. So active verbs, just a quick repeat. Active verbs expressing action, something being done. All that is repeated from the previous PowerPoints on thesis statements from the final judgment thesis. But this third one is new. For your thesis, focus on telling me what we can learn through your character analysis. Your characters are examples that illustrate key concepts or ideas. Remember, this is that inductive reasoning that we were talking about, where you use individual examples that you have collected to then draw some larger, more broad conclusion. That is what induction is. That is what you guys are doing through this essay. These characters lead me to these larger ideas, conclusions, concepts, okay? And it is those ideas that you are really trying to explain to me. As examples, these characters illustrate how destructive masculinity can be, or in these plays, masculinity destroys, whatever, right? The ideas are what I'm leading with, not individual characters. Notice in both of these brief sort of openings, I'm not saying Gallimard does this, Song does that, Che does this, Conchita does that, right? None of that really comes into play. Joey does this, Perlita does this, Daisy does this. I'm not doing any of those things. I'm not trying to construct my thesis around that one central character. Okay, so here's your first example. These characters illustrate the powerful destructive force of Western masculine ideals, victimizing both men and women. Okay, so I have the characters, but they are illustrating this broader concept, pure inductive reasoning, right? I'm now focusing on the destructive power of Western masculine ideals. I'm going to illustrate how it victimizes both men and women. I'm going to use the different characters as those men or women and as victims, right? So the concept is the heartbeat of this thesis statement, okay? As it says towards the bottom here, I'm not merely saying that Gallimard is a victim of Western masculine ideals or something to that effect. I'm making sure to push the idea, not the characters, in my thesis. It helps me ensure that my thesis, my essay itself, is focused on the idea, not solely the characters, right? So then what is that going to do? Every topic sentence after that is going to be talking about some aspect of destructive force as it relates to Western masculine ideals, or it's going to talk about how men are victimized or women are victimized, and all of a sudden I have my body paragraphs. When I need to explain to you how Western masculine ideals victimize women, I then bring in examples of that, whether that is Daisy or whether that is Morella, okay, any of those. Okay, next one. In these plays, the playwrights intentionally blur the line between the masculine and the feminine to demonstrate the importance of possessing traits of both rather than solely one or the other. Okay? In these plays, the playwrights, again, am I mentioning characters? Not here, right? I'm making reference to the plays or the characters in the thesis. Here I've chosen to do the plays rather than characters. I have already mentioned stuff earlier, and what I'm trying to get through to my reader is that these ideas are what these playwrights are wrestling with, okay? That's what my essay is all about. All right. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. So overall, how does this place into your introduction? Start your introduction by offering some discussion of your central concept: Western masculine ideals, femininity, the importance of both masculine and feminine traits, whatever you might be focusing on, okay? Then bring in your plays, playwrights, and characters, not all in one sentence. I'm telling you, not all in one sentence. What you want to do here is maybe a play, a playwright, and characters, one sentence. Your other play, your other playwright, your other character or characters in the next sentence. If you're doing all three plays, which is perfectly valid, all three sentences, okay? Then you end with your thesis statement. You've given me that explanation of some characters, some plot lines, some general understanding of these plays, and then you're saying all of these things add up to or help me discover this important idea, okay? I'm hoping that makes sense, because we're done. When you are putting your thesis together, just ask yourself, what am I really focusing on? Am I telling my reader only about a character, or am I telling them about this big idea that I got from looking closely at this character, right? This character has needs, this character has values, this character has drives, right? The Maslow's hierarchy of needs idea. In their drive to do those things, they are being used by the playwright, so that our job is not to learn just from Gallimard, or just from Conchita, or just from Joey, or just from Perlita. We're not simply supposed to learn that character's experiences. We're supposed to see that character's experience and understand it as something more universal, something more common than just to Perlita or just to Daisy, okay? And in the process of that, we can then extrapolate out some important philosophical ideas, conceptual ideas, psychological ideas, sociological ideas that we can sort of take with us after the play is over. These ideas, these lessons being learned, are not only being learned by the characters, they're being taught to us through the characters, okay? So I'm hoping that's helpful. If not, I tried. Ask questions, email me, Zoom meetings, whatever, and we'll try to work this out. All right. See you guys.